let's go to your new article. Yuval Noah Harari spills the beans. Quote, we just don't need the vast majority of the population. Technology will make it possible to replace the people.
Even if their material conditions are still relatively good. In the 20th century, what was common to all the stories, the liberal, the fascist, the communist, is that the big heroes of the story were the common people. Not necessarily all people, but if you lived, say, I don't know, in the Soviet Union in the 1930s, life was very grim. But when you looked at the propaganda posters on the walls that depicted the glorious future, you were there. You looked at the posters which showed steelworkers and farmers in heroic poses. And it was obvious that this is the future. Now, when people look at the posters on the walls or listen to TED Talks, they hear a lot of, these big ideas and big words about machine learning and genetic engineering and blockchain and globalization, and they are not there. They are no longer part of the story of the future. And I think that again, this is an hypothesis. If I try to understand and to connect to the deep resentment of people in many places around the world, part of what might be going there is people realize, and they are correct in thinking that the future doesn't need me. You have all these smart people in California and in New York and in Beijing, and they are planning this amazing future with artificial intelligence and bioengineering and global connectivity and whatnot, and they don't need me. So maybe if they are nice, they will throw some crumbs my way, like universal basic income. But it's much worse psychologically to feel that you are useless than to feel that you are exploited.
There was a lot there to process, and a lot of it does have truth to it. I'm not going to say that this man is in any way a stupid man. He's very smart, and he is a master communicator.
Well, he always talks like he's not for it.
Right.
When he is.
Right. And that's why a lot of people misunderstand Yuval Harari, and they think that he's really
on our side.
Right. He's on our side. He's sort of advocating for the people who modern society is passing them by, and what are we going to do with these people? But that is not, if you read about him and you read his books and you listen to more of his videos, I suggest, not just this one, you get the real Yuval Harari, where he says that free will, for instance, will be a thing of the past, that human beings are not possessive of a soul, that they really are just sort of the smartest smartest and most creative animals on the planet. He also does not believe that there's any such thing as objective truth. He says that human beings throughout history, Brandon, just became really good at making up stories and telling stories to each other to make them believe what they wanted to believe or needed to believe to get through life successfully. There's no real objective truth. We just made these stories up about, communism, liberalism, or fascism, which he says are the three basic stories of the 20th century. Well, we know that fascism and communism are evil, and even liberalism, he's talking about classic liberalism,
yes.
not political liberalism like we think of in America. But even it has its positives and negatives. The only really true story is the story that he doesn't even acknowledge exists, which is the story, of course, it found in the Bible and about the creator God and human beings being created in the image of God and having intrinsic value simply because they are human. That is something that Yuval Harari would not agree with.
Absolutely. And so, again, you kind of understand the depopulation plan of the World Economic Forum now, don't you? going to be a very controlled population, and some of them, they just need to be gone. We're useless eaters, is what he's saying.
He does say that we're useless eaters. He never really comes out and says that these people need to be eliminated. He would say that they need to be pacified through drugs and entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
In one of his other videos, he says that's, quote, kind of the best we can hope for. He said the problem isn't that we have too many people on the earth, we have too many useless people. And given the way the new digital economy is taking shape, 70, 50, 60, 70% of the people just won't be needed. And so he's saying that we need to get them on drugs and keep them entertained.
Again, the government studies that I'm seeing that they put out are showing this massive drop in population here in the U.S.
It's already taking place, yes.
But what they're projecting out, what I'm saying, doesn't fit.
It is going to accelerate.
It doesn't fit the normal pattern. There's such a drop off. It's like, why did they calculate such a massive drop off of birth rates in the U.S. long term? It's because I think they know it's coming, and they're going to replace whatever they need with illegals. And I guess because the question is, who will be left? I guess you'll need people to do some cleaning. You need some people to do some cooking, apparently somewhere. You might need some carpenters, some skilled laborers.
Mm-hmm.
But you could get a lot cheaper
plumbers, carpenters.
Yeah.
All of those types of trades are in high demand right now. But it's your basic factory worker that will not be in demand.
Well, you wouldn't even need your McDonald's workers. I saw the other day a robot, a commercial where a robot was running around, a kiosk robot, taking everybody's orders, right? So,
and the same with the retail workers. They're going to self-checkouts now, all the major store chains.
Yeah, you go to a store and there's one person, there's 20 rows all closed, and one person checking out, and everybody's funneling down to the in-store to check out themselves,
Yes, and that has, I think, for the last 20 years or so, been in the top one or two categories of employment is your retail workers. So they're all going to be eliminated with technology. Same with, go ahead.
And then the jobs that you do need, you can hire folks coming over the border at a much, much cheaper rate.
And they'll be more obedient because they're coming from socialist countries. So they're used to obeying government dictates just sort of reflexively compared to Americans.
Yeah.